All right, welcome back to another episode of the Ricky Henderson podcast, the greatest of all podcasts, the GOAP. I'm your host, Alex Espinoza, with my co-host, Hal Gordon, Dr. Hot Dog.
What dog?
Give me an A. And for this week's episode, we got Stu Clary, longtime A's fan, who was the man behind the brains behind the We Are Here reverse boycott that is scheduled to take place on June 13th. We'll see what's going on with all that. But first of all, thank you very much, Stu. How you doing, man?
Good. Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Love it.
Thanks, man.
So Stu, I know you. I've sold you a few hot dogs. I know, that distinctive mustache.
From Goose Sausage.
Oh, it looks great. Yeah. So, I think we've had quite a few interactions out down the third base line. But why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your A's fandom.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'm old, right? I'm 60 years old, and my first A's game was I moved to Northern California in 1977. That was my first A's game. I was actually at first, I moved here from Atlanta, and I kept the Braves for a long time. The A's were instantly my American League team. Even before I had an inkling that we were going to move out here, if you think about the timeline, the 73, 74, I was 10 years old in 73. So I fell in love with those teams, even from 3,000 miles away. And then when we came out here, there was no question. This is my American League team. And since then, I've dropped the Braves. I can certainly name two Atlanta Braves right now, but
I was gonna say, you keeping tabs on Olsen and Murphy.
Right,
I mean,
right. But honestly, I don't follow them. I mean, they're my team, and particularly after I had kids. My kids, for perspective, my kids are 29 and 28 years old. They grew up running around the Coliseum, running the bases after the Sunday games. I have so many pictures. They took. In 2002, their Little League team did take the field with the A's on a Sunday. My first experience with a season ticket package was in 1987, which was a great time to get in on a season ticket package. I've had them off and on since then through the access era. And even in the years that I didn't have them, and that would just depend on what was going on in my life, I would go to 25, 30 A's games a year, and sometimes more.
Where are you sitting these days when you're going to games? Where do you sit?
My wife and I go, and we usually sit somewhere in the third base side, maybe in the 100s, oftentimes in the 200s. I'm a high school baseball coach, so there's a different kind of baseball that takes precedent for me this time of year, 6 days a week. So we show up on Sundays periodically, usually. And then once school gets out, we're there a lot. It's great for me. I'm a high school teacher also. And so, the weekday day games are great for me in the summertime because honestly, it keeps me out of trouble and I don't have anything better going on in my life. Basically, my hobbies are baseball, barbecue, and disc golf, and that's pretty much all I do.
I saw your profile photo. I saw you had the ace on your disc. Yeah, I grew up in Moraga. They got a course over there, so
I love that course. That's a really cool and difficult course. Yeah, we play there every so often for sure.
Yeah, it's a fun thing, man. But
for sure.
So how did the news strike you? I mean, if you've been following this team for almost
long. I'm guessing long before you were born, huh, Alex? I'll tell you, it hit me like a ton of bricks. It's devastating. Again, I think of the people I've met. I thought of Hal. I have a lot of friends that I've made over the years because of the A's, and people will be lifelong friends. And again, I thought of my kids and how much fun it was watching them grow up. The A's are a huge part of their lives, and going to Fan Fest. And I mean, my kids were, I think it was 4 and 5 years old when they stood in line and said thank you to Jason Giambi when he got an autograph. And he was so taken aback that a kid said thank you that he gave him high fives, and instantly he became my wife's favorite player. Go figure. I just think of all those came flooding back. And yeah, like I alluded to earlier, they did take the field with the A's, and we have a picture of my oldest who played first base is doing the national anthem with Hatterberg. And it's just so many memories just came flooding back. And so what were my feelings? Anger, sadness. I think I'm pretty much in the state of denial right now. I'm going through all the different
all the stages of grief
for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it is real grief. It's real grief. Hearing so many people talking about how, all their memories of their families and stuff, and me thinking back to my baseball memories with my dad and stuff, it's like, I don't even have kids like yet, and I'm thinking like, if I do have kids, now this is taken from me. It sucks. It just sucks, man.
My kids don't have kids yet.
Yeah.
But it sure would be nice if something happened, I could bring my grandchildren to the game.
Right.
Yeah. In that vein, Casey Pratt had done some tweeting. He tweeted some pictures of him bringing his children. And last year, we brought my then 90-year-old father-in-law, who has since passed away, to his first A's game, and got a great picture of him that I posted in reply on his Twitter. That he's even got the button, my first A's game. He's 90 years old. He was having a blast.
I love those buttons. I would always ask for, they were starting to run low on them last season, but I'd always ask for 10 or 12 of them, and I'd keep that in my vending front pocket. And when somebody would say, "Oh, it's my first game," I whip one out and be like, "There you go."
Because people don't know about it. You have to know to get them. And if it's your first game, how would you know?
Yeah. If you're listening to this and you're bringing somebody to the game this season and it's their first A's game and maybe last, it's you go to those little kiosks in right and left field.
I think it's right by it's in the concourse now. Right by 129, maybe 130. It used to be in that walkway when you first walk in, the Dennis Eckert. They moved them to the
So Stu, I mean, you had clearly had really strong feelings about this franchise. I mean, you organized this reverse boycott on June 13th. You were trying to rally as many people as you could to get into the stadium. Kind of. What was your how did that come to, how did you think of that? And
sure.
And what did you think of the reaction that you got? I mean, you got interviewed by the New York Times, right?
Ridiculous, beyond
amazing,
beyond wildest dreams. It's like, how did this happen?
How the hot dog guy hasn't even gotten into the New York Times.
I'll tell you what, crazy. I did a podcast interview. Again, I'm a high school teacher. I did a podcast interview in class. All the kids were like, "Mr. Clary, you're famous." And I showed him the tweet. I said, "Not only that, I'm terrible too." So, the way it all came about, I follow many, A-centric Twitter pages and commenting, and one of them had a poll, and so I answered the poll, and then in the comments I said, "Hey, I answered the poll, but also there's this thing I've been thinking about," and I kind of laid it out. Because it just dawns on me that not showing up feeds the narrative that we don't deserve a team or we can't support a team, because we're the ones that know why people aren't coming. People aren't going because of the actions of ownership. When I had my, early in the season tickets with the Bash Brothers era, we're the second, third, fourth highest attended team annually. I know we can support the team, but we've had, in 55 years, we've had maybe 6 or 7 years of good ownership. We've been saddled with some terrible owners, starting with Charlie Finley and wanting to move to Denver back in the late 70s. And it's just continued in that vein, with the notable exception of the Hawks family. It's just a travesty what they've done to this very proud franchise.
Yeah. Well, it was sort of devastating. I just, when you started posting about that, it just, I was so excited. And then, we were going to interview you earlier and in the week, and it was, it's like I think a day after the news came out, and I was just like, I'm so exhausted, but like, but I think I'm back to being really excited about it. And like, tell me like what you imagine for June 13th now. Like, what's your plan? How's it going to look? What do you want? What do you want to
first of all, let me, is it a coincidence that they announced?
Oh, that was gonna be my next question. That was gonna be my next
question. The timing, is it a big coincidence, right? I mean, this thing starts gaining traction. We're in the New York Times. We're all over the place. We're in Sports Illustrated, CBS, et cetera, et cetera. And then this announcement comes out. Maybe we had more effect than I think. It wouldn't shock me if that's what happened. And they want to end the momentum. I think it's even more important now that we've packed the Coliseum on the 13th. There's also a protest plan for the Friday night when they come back from being on the road. Unfortunately, I can't be there that night. We have a game on Friday, but boy, I wish I could be. I really wish I could.
I think there's going to be a lot of other opportunities, and we'll definitely be talking about that on the pod as it comes down, and definitely on Twitter. But yeah,
do you guys know what the plan is for the 28th? I saw something about like gathering on the park ramp or something.
Yeah. I think this is going to go out. We'll set put this out tomorrow. But I think more information is going to be released about that protest, and I think more yet to be sort of organized. So I think I'll be there, but it's also during a Warriors game, so I think it'll be tough, but I really want to focus on the 13th here, the June 13th. I think that has the best sort of opportunity to just be like,
we can certainly send a message. And so the idea was, let's pack the Coliseum, but let's not do it on a fireworks night or even on a weekend night when we have actually having 15,000 people there. Let's do it on Tuesday night, the least attended game traditionally, Tuesday night. And let's make sure it's not against the Giants, the Yankees, or the Red Sox. Let's pick a random night. And so that was the idea. The next day, I sent a message to my friend. I think you guys might know Jeff. And Jeff jumped on that right away. He says, yes, this has to happen. And Jeff's very well connected. He knows a lot of the right people, and he put together an informal focus group, and we started discussing a few ideas. And we settled on June 13th. At first, I was kind of pushing for an August date, but I'm glad that cooler heads prevailed there. I think the sooner we do it, the better, especially in light of recent events.
Yeah.
I believe that in my wildest dreams, we get 30,000 people there. That will show the baseball world, it'll show Major League Baseball, it'll show the media, both locally and nationally, that, wow, they care. And I'm very heartened by some of the recent opinion pieces that have come out. No, I'm not hearing any credible opinions that, oh, this is a great idea, go to Las Vegas. What if no, they're all lamenting the fact that this crook wants to take our team to Las Vegas. Yeah, I'm heartened by that.
Yeah, I was thinking like the optics are interesting. Like there is all this momentum behind this thing, and maybe they just wanted to douse that flame before it got too big.
100%.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think we'll know more. When this comes around in 5 or 6 weeks in June. We still may not know. It may be the perfect time. We still may not know what's happening. We still may not know what's going on. I have a bunch of different ideas. I think I want to do more research into Clark County commissioners meetings, see if we can get some people people to go out to Vegas and just talk to them at their meeting, if they have public comment. I'm not sure if that exists or not, but this is going to be, I think, I think as our dear leaders, Brody and Casey have said, I don't think that there's a lot of, we shouldn't be, we shouldn't be creating false hope, but it's also not yet done. And no matter what it is, if it's, if this is like, a great opportunity to organize, if this is a great opportunity to, tell Major League Baseball, to show to Major League Baseball what they're losing, if this is a great opportunity to tell Cavill to suck it, or if this is the one of the sort of last opportunities to say goodbye to communities that have meant so much to all of us, I think June 13th, I think, is going to be so much fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, do you think
if nothing else, it's going to be one hell of a party, guys.
Absolutely.
It's after school, so I don't know what time the lot's open. I'll be there 5 minutes before that, sitting on my tailgate, lot A, ladies and gentlemen. And
all right, lot A.
We're going to have a blast. And yeah, Hal, I did start the rumor that you're coming out of retirement one night only. I did.
Stu, here's what I can promise you. If you're at your lot A tailgate, I'm gonna be there with a generator and my cotton candy machine. I'm gonna be spinning cotton candy for anybody who wants it. My other big idea was like, the thing that has always just ticked me off so much in the last year and a half has been that they just don't run the big head races anymore. So
yeah. I've seen a lot of tweets about the big heads.
I'm just so mad about it because it's such a small fucking thing they could do.
Yeah.
And so here's my idea. We're gonna get pictures of the 3 big heads. You can buy big mask that's like 2 feet tall by 1 foot tall. Paste it onto 3 people. The sort of the hallway, or like the area between in the 100 level section that splits the two sections of the stadium. Well, I'm gonna give it to 3 people at home plate. We're gonna have somebody out in left field with a little tag and say, don't run because I don't want you to get thrown out, but just speed walk it. And we're gonna get everybody to cheer. We're gonna have a fan big head race because fuck these fuckers. They can't pay for like 3 interns to run their big head races. Come on, we gotta have this as fans.
Come on. Fans would line up around the block to sign a waiver and do that.
I don't understand. I just don't understand it.
Dude,
there must be a reason that I don't know, but I don't get it.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend. He's like, dude, A's fans have this like a crazy opportunity in front of them to just change the season into like some sort of historic thing, like they write 30 for 30s about. Like, I don't know. He was like putting these ideas in my head, like, dude, this could just turn into an absolute carnival at the Coliseum where people are just, because baseball is going to be secondary, so it's like fans can kind of take control of the stadium,
I hope nothing bad happens at the
nothing dangerous. Yeah, nothing dangerous.
No, that's important, Stu. That's important.
Yeah.
I hope nothing bad happens on the 13th. I hope nothing, if, and I really don't think it is, but if this is the last season in Oakland, I hope nothing bad happens in game 81.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it if it is.
Yeah.
I was like, with everybody else.
Here's the high school teacher coming through. Here's the high school teacher, but it's also the high school coach coming through. Hey, I around.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, if you
stay safe, but it is Oakland. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, nothing dangerous, but I feel like there's an opportunity. Like, I don't know, like A's fans are kind of just activists, anyways. It's like a interesting cauldron that they've created now at the Coliseum.
There's lots of things I wouldn't mind getting as souvenirs.
Stu, I took a because I was last year when I was vending, I'd often be one of the last people to leave the stadium, and occasionally I'd kind of look around and I'd be like, what could I take? And I think one of the things that I thought on, game 81 of the final season, in behind, like, 148, the bleachers, there's this sign that says bleachers, and it's not drilled in, it's kind of like glued on, and I'm like, I think I could rip
It
that
has
off.
like a little arrow on it or something.
Yes, yeah. I was like, I think I could rip that one off.
Enough shake weights, you could do that. Yeah.
I love that. Hey, so what's the coolest, unique A's thing that you guys have?
What's the coolest?
Because I got something I'm going to show you in a minute. If you got something really good, I'm going to play topper.
Honestly, this is my favorite thing that I have is, Rob Roberts, NorCal Nodders. He made these custom too short bobbleheads, and look how amazing this is, dude. It's just like the details amazing, and it's short, and it's like, I don't know, that he's got the dollar sign. Like it's Rob, like, thank you, Rob. I feel the chair, like this is probably my favorite thing. It's really cool. Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Hal has something.
Hal's got a bunch of stuff. Hal's got a million things. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is, like, I this is all stuff from when I was like a teenager. This is like this is pretty much what my room looked like as a kid growing up. I got all these signs, and I reached out to T Long. T Long just sent me a DM, so I'm gonna try to get him on. He was my favorite player growing up.
Dude, I loved T Long. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That catch at Fenway Park.
Yeah, amazing.
Ridiculous.
Because I was born in 87, so I was like 13 around 2000. That's when I really became like obsessed and like,
No, you know what I'm talking about, the catch at Fenway?
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, of course.
And the coolest thing about it, if you see it again sometime on replay, is there's a Boston police officer in the bullpen, thinks it's a home run, has his hands up, and then he catches the ball, he just
puts it down. Yeah. And then I think like Jermaine Dye tried to like jump on him afterwards and like grab onto him, but that was just a fun era, man. Those teams were so good,
So Jermaine Dye is from Vacaville. I'm from Vacaville, and in that era, my little league guys and Jermaine's dad Bill would go out to the Little League Park all the time and talk to the kids and bring them memorabilia and stuff. What a really nice family.
Nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Jermaine's sister Angie was a professional basketball player also. Really very cool and very athletic family for sure.
What about you've been to probably so many games there. What's like your favorite game, since
easily 162 in 2012.
Yeah, that was amazing. He's got the cutout.
I got what we got here? So it's too big. It's too big to fit in my apartment, so it's in my backyard. But I dragged it in here. My wife is behind it.
That's great.
This is my favorite.
Wait, didn't they use you as Tom Hanks when they had the pandemic cutout?
Yeah. Oh, and so I asked for that when they said. So my other favorite part about this, hold on, is can you see the? I accept A's access.
Oh,
there it is. I accept
for the
A's
YouTube
access.
crowd. Hal's got a full size cutout, or for the non-YouTube crowd, Hal's got a full life size cutout of himself.
It's more than life size. Okay. I
gotta walk with. Okay, you keep going, because I'm gonna have to walk with my laptop in a minute.
But yeah, I was at 162, and I remember I did the victory lap with the team because I was doing videos and photos, and like people looking at me like, "What the hell are you doing out here?" And I was just like, I was like a 25-year-old kid just with my running around, my head cut off. It was great.
So, a friend of mine is a baseball scout, and at the time he was NorCal scout for the A's. And I mean, after game 161, I called him. I said, "I need your tickets." He said, "Oh yeah, I already got them for you." So I sat in the friends and family section.
121. Yeah.
121, and that was the loudest I've ever experienced the Coliseum.
Yeah, Balfour coming in,
and when Balfour came in to close the game, and then when the game was over, that was the loudest I've ever experienced the Coliseum. And I've seen them clinch the Western Division several times, 2000, that whole era, several times. Easily the loudest.
Yeah.
What do you got now, Hal?
Okay,
you guys check this out. I have to walk in here.
Yeah.
Let me turn on this light. Okay, you guys are gonna trip, but look at this guy.
Oh,
What
I don't
is
even know how to
that?
describe this for
What
the
is that made
non-YouTube
out
crowd.
of?
That is Raleigh Fingers over here. I
Yeah.
don't know how well you can see his face. He's got the mustache.
Oh yeah.
That
Is that made
a
out of
Raleigh-
car parts or something? Or like, what is
It's
that made of?
that is a Raleigh Fingers autographed baseball.
Okay.
My son's little league cap.
Okay.
That's one of my favorites right there. It's
Uh,
an old
so to describe what I just saw to the people listening to this on a podcast, Stu just took us to his different room, and it looked like some type of strange just amalgamation of metal bottles or
it was
car
Like
parts
from
or
a car.
something.
it's a tank. It's like a I can't think of it. It's
Oh,
like
it's like a helium tank.
yeah.
Okay, so it's a helium tank with painted yellow, an A's jersey on top, but on the top of it, chrome but unmistakably Raleigh Fingers with the handlebar mustache, and had tiny little spider arms coming out holding a ball that was signed by Raleigh Fingers. That's
And the
amazing.
coolest thing is it's in the living room. My wife is cool enough to let me have it.
Oh, what a mensch!
Oh, and for sure.
What a great wife.
Oh no doubt. I definitely married up. There's no question.
Yeah, there you go. Cool,
So
cool.
now that you guys have had like a couple of days to like digest the Vegas news, is it and just kind of like pull away from everything? How are you guys feeling now? I mean, because my initial reaction was, oh, done deal, it's over. Sheng Tao said they're not going to negotiate in Howard Terminal anymore. But it sounds like Sheng Tao's like, you know what? if something comes to pass, eventually they could talk. And also, it sounds like, obviously nothing's done deal in Nevada yet. All they've basically done is picked out their preferred site. And even that money's in escrow. Last I heard, it's not even official that they've made that sale yet. So, like, how are you guys feeling about the whole situation now?
My feeling is they're no further along than the Peralta site, and they're no further along than Cisco Field in San Jose. They're no further along than Fremont.
Yeah.
And every time one of these sites was proposed, I would get excited, and someone would say, "I'll believe it when the shovels hit the dirt."
Yeah.
I'll believe in Las Vegas when the shovels hit the dirt. These ham-fisted fucks have screwed up these stadium proposals left and right. Please screw this one up too.
Yeah. I think that's right. I think that there are parts of me that don't feel. Yeah, I mean, I think that Las Vegas knows that this is their opportunity for a baseball team. I think that they know that if, I think that they might, work hard to get that $500 million number down, especially now that, they can't say, oh, we're just gonna go back to Oakland. They'll be like, Sheng Tao just told you to go, eat bricks. Yeah. So, I think that the situation that we're hoping for, where this somehow implodes so badly, that the A's decide, oh, actually our better option is to either sell the team or to go hat in hand back to Sheng Tao. I think that has to be a pretty spectacular implosion.
Dude, that would
and
be
I think that
epic.
Las Vegas and Nevada know that if that happens, MLB, when they expand to 32 teams, MLB is going to say, oh, well, Nevada and Las Vegas just screwed us. So I don't think that they're going to give them an expansion team if that happens. So, I think that there's a really, I'm still not super hopeful, but what I do know is that it's not done. And what I do know is that all these beautiful relationships and this beautiful community and this, all this meaningful stuff to people has just come flooding out. And if there is an opportunity to go to, for instance, to go to Clark County and make public comment or something, or if there is an opportunity to go to Carson City and, and demonstrate or something, or protest, or if there is an opportunity to do, anything else, first of all, anyone listening to this should absolutely be at June 13th. Anybody listening to this should make sure that anyone that they know, who's ever put an A's cap on is going to be at June 13th. And then, after that, like, we're going to have to look for our opportunities. I don't want to leave anything, on the table. I think we gotta see what we can do. And if we can do it, the worst comes to worst, if we can make the Clark County commissioners think twice about it, and then they try and, make the A's pay an extra few $1,000,000. I would love to cost John Fisher a few $1,000,000. That would be an honor.
As far as expansion, I'm not convinced that in a vacuum, Las Vegas is a great expansion candidate anyway. I think there's other cities that are much better than Las Vegas. It's not a big media market. It's not, other than casinos, it's not home to any, big corporations that I'm aware of. Maybe it is. I think there are other cities that are much better situation, population wise, economics wise, than Vegas. I think that Dave Stewart's on something with Nashville. I think the Expos are a kindred spirit. I would love to see Montreal get baseball back.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Well, I also remember, there were a lot of other examples when they wanted to contract back. It's a long time ago, but they wanted to contract the Expos and the Twins, and I think one thing that convinced them not to was an outpouring of support for the Twins from the Minnesota community. So if the A's are gone, putting our best foot forward on June 13th and wherever else we can to let baseball know, to let Joe LaCobe know, or whatever, that, like, hey, if you want to bring back baseball to Howard Terminal. If I was an idiot like Joe LaCobe and I had way too many billions of dollars, I'd be like, oh, who cares? I'll just pay for this shit myself. Like, come on, bring them back. I'd love to cheer on the Oakland Bees.
Well, it's just, I feel like the A's Bud Selig just really stuck the A's with the wrong billionaire. It was like
it's just so frustrating because it shouldn't be that. In Europe,
it's a boys club.
It's not like this. In Europe, if you want a new team to be in the top league, you get promoted, man. You don't. I think there's like one example of one English soccer team that's ever moved. Like, it's just not how it should be. We shouldn't. Our civic pride, our community, what the things that we bring our kids to and create memories shouldn't be at the mercy of some dumbass who inherited billions of dollars from their parents. It shouldn't be at the mercy of anyone, like, send the A's to the minor leagues,
relegate them.
Fine. I'd rather be relegated, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, just completely kill it's a whole different thing. So all right, Stu. Well, yeah, I mean, what else? I mean, is there anything else like you guys want to get off your chest? I mean, it's a pretty emotional time, but
I just am thinking that they made that announcement to take the wind out of our sails for the 13th.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I hope that everyone.
Did we lose them?
I think we lost Stu briefly there, but I think, as Stu was saying, don't let this
blank.
don't let this take the wind out of our sails. Don't hate John Fisher, but don't, do this for you. Do this for us, keep wearing the A's hats, come to some games and, and show people as I think more and more opportunities will show up to either get involved with the Nevada stuff or get involved with, just coming to games or whatever, just stay involved and get, if other people who are A's fans, get them involved. Because it's not, we haven't lost the A's yet, and we haven't lost Major League Baseball yet. And if this is what John Fisher wants, is for nobody to show up at this point.
Yeah.
At this point.
They just want to douse that. I mean, even if they don't get anything done, they just don't want anybody to go there, you know?
Yeah. They
Like
don't want anybody there.
like like regardless. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to buy, the most expensive seats in the stadium, but
Yeah. I wonder. I'm curious. I mean, I'm curious to see if that announcement, stifled some momentum. I mean, I would think naturally it would, or maybe it emboldened people, I'm curious to see how the reaction is. Hey Stu, we got you back, man. Last thing we heard you say. Yeah.
Pretty sure this guy over here next door is stealing my Wi-Fi. I'm not.
that son of a bitch. I bet he's a Giants fan.
But yeah, you were just saying like your biggest point you wanted to make about.
Oh, I just want everybody to hope everybody shows up. There's no doubt in my mind that this, it's not a coincidence. They made this announcement the day that it started taking traction. I think they wanted to take the wind of our sails, because it will make ownership look bad if we get 20, 30, 40, 50,000. If we get a big crowd on a Tuesday night, it's going to make them look like idiots. So they know that. And they're looking at this podcast. They see every tweet. They knew it was on. So I just hope that everyone can spread the word. You don't have to be an A's fan to go. I have a load of Giants fan friends that will be there. They understand the value of having two teams in the market. I just hope everybody's there. I hope everybody has a good time, and let our voices be heard. In action, cut it.
Yeah.
Well, Stu, you no matter what happens, you've secured yourself in the pantheon of great A's fans by just this is this is the time when it counts the most. So I've always enjoyed seeing you at the games and selling you a hot dog.
Mutual for sure. In fact, check this out.
There.
Check this out. I did not just do this. I promise.
Yeah.
You got Hal's card in the hat. Let's go.
It lives in there.
Pulled his hat off his head, and inside the hat, a Hal the hot dog guy card.
You're never
and
I
almost wore my Hal is my pal t-shirt, but I realized it was like it was the time to jump on, so I wore that one instead.
Home of the tailgate. Home of the tailgate.
Yeah, I also think that'd be a funny way to protest. Just have a game where everybody pays for parking, but nobody goes to ticket. Everybody just tailgates and listens to the game outside. That'd be a funny thing too, like a 3-hour barbecue.
That would be really epic. That's a great idea.
Maybe that could be an August thing. That could be later when it's hot out.
Dude, that's well, you know what? I live in Vacaville. It's hot here most of the summer. That's another one of the great things about being an A's fan is get out of the 105-degree heat in Vacaville and shoot down to the Coliseum where it's beautiful 75, 80 degrees. It's great.
Yeah.
You know where it's going to be even hotter than Vacaville most summers?
Vegas.
Fucking Vegas. What a stupid place for a baseball team.
What a stupid place. Anyway, nothing against Vegas. Go get an expansion
What a stupid
team.
place. Full stop.
Go get an expansion team, you guys. Come on.
Yeah.
You don't want John Fisher owning your team. Look at the nightmare he's put us through for the last.
I know, right? I know. Oh,
Anyway, Stu, congrats on just your idea taking off, because it clearly touched a nerve with a lot of people, including maybe John Fisher. So,
well,
congrats, man.
I appreciate that, Alex. And
Yeah.
again, it was something I've been thinking about, and all I did was answer a tweet. So many people jumped on it, thought it was a good idea, and I mean, I certainly didn't do this on my own. There are a lot of people that are promoting the idea. Jeff August, again, I'll mention his name again, has been really pounding the pavement, getting the word out.
He actually messaged. He wants to. I've had him on before, but he wants to come back on the pod. So yeah, a lot. It's funny. Actually, a lot of people want to go down the pod now, man. A lot of people got stuff to say. People want to. Yeah.
all right.
He wrote a.
We'll have you on.
Jeff wrote a brilliant essay that I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's been circulating a little bit online. Very well researched, very, very well written. Kind of a warning, maybe more than anything else, to the residents of Las Vegas that you don't want to give this shyster your money.
Yeah. Interesting. I have to take a read.
Let us continue to be rear-ended by this guy.
I mean, that's a funny thing. It's like, yeah, you guys don't want this guy. Like,
I promise you do not want this.
I mean, if the choice is have him here and be the owner versus have them not here, I'll take the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
It's not the ultimate outcome that I'd like to have, but
yeah,
I'd rather have the team more than anything else.
Yeah, it's just too bad he's kind of created this lose-lose situation. It's like either you lose the team or you're stuck with John Fisher. It's like it's not like even if they keep him, people are gonna be like, it's still Fisher. So
yeah, but maybe not. So I did not read the Scott Ostler.
I gotta read that too. I just saw a tweet about that. I have to read that story.
Yeah, I read it. It's I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I think it's just talking about the hope of either they screw up in Vegas and they have to sell and stay, or people remember how great of a market this can be and we get an expansion team. And I don't know. I think if we had a different government, in a different other situation, that it would be a no-brainer to bring an expansion team here. But I don't know.
It's crazy to think how the perfect storm that had to happen over the past, 25 years to get here, that every piece of the jigsaw puzzle fit together and just screwed us in the end. I didn't have a major role, but in the early 90s, I did help out in a very small way to help try and get the word out that the Giants need a new stadium. I wish that didn't happen. But then, realistically, I've come to really despise the Giants because of their actions in trying to force the A's out. At least that's my perception.
Yeah, they've been pretty much one of their staunchest opponents.
Right.
I think it's easy to overstate how much that is the case, but what it clearly is if the Giants had not been so adamant of not letting the A's move to San Jose, I think the A's would likely be in San Jose right now.
And
would be a lot. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alex.
I was going to say that same lawyer, Ronald Van Buskirk, who worked for Stand Up for San Jose, is also he's representing East Oakland Stadium Alliance. So it's like the same guy, and he helped the Giants.
That's the nature of lawyers. If they have experience in one thing, then they'll get hired for the next thing.
Sure. I didn't want them to move to San Jose. Really,
right.
Oakland is where they should be, but I sure would prefer San Jose to Las Vegas.
Right, we're in the bargaining segment of grief right now.
Yeah,
but so many things happened. The Giants opened that park, and then they made a deal with the devil every other year for 3 years there. That far from the best team in the league any of those years, and they win the World Series every time. There's a whole generation of fans now that are Giants fans because of that might have been A's fans instead. So
I'll say this too. Oh yeah, keep going, Stu. Sorry.
Oh, just the you know, the whole way Fisher got the team, because, you know, because of who they know, not what they know. It's just,
Yep.
it
Must be
sickens
nice.
me.
Yeah. I'll say this too. I think even COVID played a role, because I think that the A's had started to really focus on Howard Terminal. They were ready to get stuff going. And they had said, I remember Fish or the Cavill saying, we are confident we're going to be opening, we'll have opening day. Well, I mean, earlier they were saying opening day 2023, but eventually, even before COVID, they were like ready for 2026, 2027 at Howard Terminal. And they were ready to do that. And COVID just put everything on a back burner for 2 years. And by the time they got around to it, with the changing price of all this stuff in the Bay, that's what created, we would have had, the A's had already gotten enough in grants to pay for it if it hadn't been for all this runaway inflation and
I feel like COVID is still having an effect because a lot of the steel is made in China.
Yes.
I think that's still having an effect. The inflation rate can, anyone that's knows how you're more well versed in this than I am. I'm not a PhD, but the inflation rate can be tied directly to COVID.
It's also it also has still a big effect, in even like I think that the A's have seen that the Giants have been struggling with attendance the last 2 years, and that's largely COVID too. People are not in other cities. People have all gone back to work fully. In the Bay Area, a lot of people have still not gone back into the office, and that means that if you're not downtown for your office job, you're still at home at Vacaville or Walnut Creek or Fremont, for a Wednesday night game. You're like, I'll wait till the weekend, where if you were at your office, you'd say, I'll swing by the Coliseum or I'll swing by,
see a few innings. Like, it's so much
whatever,
easier.
Pac Bell Park or whatever it is, and
Sure.
and see. Yeah. All right. Well, Stu, thank you so much for giving us this time. I am still super psyched about June 13th. I don't care. I don't know what it's going to mean at that point, but I'm going to have a ton of fun. And, the more and more I hear from A's fans and hear their stories of what it means to them, the more and more I think if we can figure out a way to go give public comment or do whatever we can, buy a billboard in Las Vegas or some shit. I don't even know, the more I want to do it. So this is great talking to you, Stu.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? Thanks very much for having us. I'm a big fan of the podcast, and keep up the good work, you guys.
Thanks, Stu. Really appreciate it, man.
Okay, we'll see ya.